Keyboarding, learning to type is a fine motor skill. Learning a musical instrument, playing the guitar, the flute, the clarinet. There's this cool, what's it called? The Dukometer, I think. There's this song by Third Day that goes something like, I believe in God the Father, Almighty maker of heaven and earth. That one. And when they do a live recording of it, there's a guy playing the Dukometer. Oh my gosh, this is the coolest instrument ever. So learning a fine motor skill working on your fine motor skills while you are playing a musical instrument is really great. Emily, this is for you. Knitting and crocheting is a fantastic fine motor skill. Now, if your kids are little, start them off really easy. My youngest, like the one that couldn't read until he was 10, is also our busiest buddy. In fact, God saved him for last, so there would be 6 of us to watch him, because he can get into trouble before you can say, oh my goodness, he's just amazing. So when he was little, during read aloud time, he would drive the other boys crazy. And so I taught him how to do a simple chain stitch, a chain with a crochet hook, and I encouraged him to make the world's longest chain. Now he was 4, so he took up that challenge like I had offered him gold on a plate. He was like, okay, and he ended up making a chain that was probably 150 feet long. It was massive. And then over time, we developed this practice of, okay, let's fine tune the skill. And eventually, with the help of YouTube, gotta love YouTube, with the help of YouTube, he has now learned to fully crochet, and he creates his own stitches and his own patterns. He's really talented and gifted. Emily is with 330 Knits. She's in this group. She's one of my good friends, and she has this antique knitting machine from like the early 1900s that's fantastic. I'm mesmerized by this machine. And so I know that she has an appreciation for knitting, and it's a really great skill in general, but it's a really great fine motor skill. Other things that you can do, one of my sons loves beautiful handwriting. There's a YouTube video out there. If you Google the world's best, that's my bouncy ball making that noise. That's not me. If you Google the best calligraphy person, I forget his name. I'll have to find the link and get it for you. He is fantastic. And so I showed the video to the boys a few years ago, and it captivated my son's attention. So he has been practicing calligraphy since then, fully recognizing that in order to be as good as the gentleman on the video, this young kid that makes unbelievable art is just fantastic. There are thousands of hours of practice in between where he is today and being that good. But that is something. So calligraphy and lettering, dusting. Got to slip those household chores in there. Hey, anytime you can combine something that they have to hold in their hands, that you're developing fine motor skills. So washing the dishes, dusting, scrubbing the car, pushing the vacuum cleaner, all those things develop fine motor skills. If you have a project that you're going to be painting, we're hoping to paint the inside of our house soon. And so one of the skills that the boys will be practicing is laying painter's tape around all the baseboards before we paint the walls. And that's actually quite challenging to somebody that's never done that before. So this laying of painter's tape is a really good fine motor skill. This one we're going to come back to, this detailing a car. This one totally stumped me today. I just wait. And then another one that surprised me is dancing. Dancing is actually a fine motor skill as you perfect those movements that you would put under the category of gracefulness. So going back, there are so many skills that you can do with your kids that will develop their fine motor skills. And as I wrap this up, I wanted to show you that on the skill builders, there are at least three videos that I want to make sure that you see. There is this one that is this little guy teaching you how to tie shoes. And so if you have little kids that don't know how to tie yet, it's the third one down on the list. It says tying shoes. There's a kid hack, and just give your kids some shoes and sit them in front of the video and then watch your jaw drop as they learn to tie their shoes very quickly. This little guy has discovered a trick for using the different holes on the shoe. It's really cool, and it's short, and it's very clear. So make sure you catch that video, because that's an excellent, tying is an excellent fine motor skill. This one, it's a blurry image, but this one is, oh, what did I call it on the sheet? I called it a DIY sensory board for littles. And this is something that you can either make, if your kids are toddlers, you would make this for them. If they're older, preschool and up, you can include them in the creative process of making something like this. It's a board that has things that you can fidget and play with that use your fingers in different ways. So buttoning, latching, undoing locks, there's spinners, all kinds of stuff in here. So look for that link. It's called the DIY Sensory Board for Littles.